good? Good here? Goodly? Oh, Tetsua, right here. It's obviously been a bit since we got to see you compete in the T-Mobile Arena. It's been a lot of Apex shows. So I guess how excited are you to get into the big octagon and the big arena and fight in front of more people this time?
エイペックスが続いてたので、久しぶりのティーモバイルだと思いますが、ティーモバイルのファンの前でできること、ケージも大きくなって、今、そのティーモバイルになるっていうところについてどう思ってますか？
自分自身2回目のティーモバイルで、またティーモバイルに来れて嬉しいです。すごい、大きい会場でやれることにすごいワクワクしてます。
This will be my second T-Mobile experience. Very happy to be back. Very excited to be fighting in front of all the fans.
Is there a difference in this, just the size of the octagon when you fight in there? Because a lot of people like to point that that's the outside of the crowd, just the less space to work in the Apex probably plays a bigger factor. But as someone who has that experience, is there a big difference?
ケージの、オクタゴンのサイズの違いっていうのは意識されることはありますか？
前回やった時もそこまで気にならなかったので、大きくなる分にはそこまで、やりづらさっていうのは感じないんじゃないかなって思ってます。
I didn't feel so much concern last time when I fought at the T-Mobile. As long as it's big, I'm not worried too much.
And what do you make of Brandon as an opponent? Obviously, you expected a big name, but outside of fighting for the fighting the champion, Brandon seems to be not just the best, but the most popular and brings the most eyeballs.
対戦相手ブランドン・モレノとなりましたが、もともと強い相手とやりたい、上の相手とやりたいという意思はあったと思いますが、その中でブランドン・モレノという、一番知名度的にも経験的にも多い選手になったのかなと思いますが、いかがでしょうか？
前回勝って、上位陣とやりたいって思ってて、その時にブランドン・モレノ選手の、対戦相手に決まって、一番いい相手、一番次の挑戦者の椅子を決めるにふさわしい相手が来たと思ってます。
Yes, obviously, after the last fight, I wanted a top ranker, and hearing the name Brandon Moreno, I think it was like the perfect opponent that I wanted, and I think it will be the perfect match to determine the next title contender.
A lot of fans and media seem to think Brandon's last two performances are the best he's ever looked in there. He's just, everything seems to be working well for him. So from the outside watching, do you agree that the recent Brandon Moreno is the best we've ever seen?
ブランドン・モレノの長いキャリアの中でも、ここ2試合が一番いい状態なんじゃないかっていう、意見も、ありますけど、彼のキャリアを見て、今の状態をどう捉えておりますか？
たくさん経験をしてきてるし、大きい試合もこなしてきてるので、彼の試合を見て、やっぱりストライキングの能力っていうのはどんどん進化してるっていうのを感じてるので、それに自分がどこまで、ストライキングでも MMA で勝負できるのか、すごいワクワクしてます。
Of all the experience he has, definitely understand in terms of like striking that he's still evolving and is the best striker of Moreno that we probably are seeing now. But I'm very excited to see how I can fight against him, especially on stands, and see how the fight goes.
I read an interview where you said your coach seemed to get along really well with him through Pokemon cards. How true is that?
ポケモンカードを通してコーチが仲良くやってるっていうのを読んだんですけど、事実ですか？
そう、僕のコーチはポケモンカード、子供たちのためにポケモンカードを集めるのが大好きで、そうですね、モレノにも日本のカードを渡してコーチがすごい喜んでましたね。
Yeah, my coach, he has kids and he loves collecting Pokemon cards. So the answer is, it is true that he was giving Pokemon cards to Moreno as well, and he was so happy to be able to give it to him.
You're going to give him any at the face-off?
Face-off で渡すっていう話は。
いや、恥ずかしいから却下しました。
Too embarrassing. I said no to the coach.
And just last one for me. I think a lot of people point to either your fight, getting the title shot against the main event, or obviously Kyoji Horiguchi is calling for the next title shot. So do you need to put on a spectacular performance to kind of erase all the questions and prove that you are the number one contender?
次の挑戦者っていうところで、今日というか、このモレノ達郎のどっちか勝った方なのか、一方で堀口教授という名前も出てきますが、それも踏まえて、この試合、しっかり自分が次期挑戦者であるということを見せるにあたって何が必要だと感じられていますか？
堀口さんと比べてですよね。
比べてでもいいですし、
堀口さん、
何見てますか？
わかりました。素晴らしいパフォーマンスを見せた試合だったし、僕も今回の土曜日の試合で、フィニッシュされたことないモレノをフィニッシュして、パントージャとジョシュア・バーの勝者に挑みたいなって思ってます。
Looking at Kyoji's fight, I think he showed a great performance. And obviously that's something I have to show this Saturday as well. Make sure I finish Moreno, which he's never been finished. So give him the first finish. That's what I have to show.
Tetsuro, just curious, we're seeing Horiguchi back in the UFC now. They haven't been to Japan in a very long time. How big could a fight between you and Horiguchi for a UFC title in Japan be, and what would that mean to the country?
堀口選手の名前も上がりましたけど、UFC としてはだいぶ長いこと日本でやっていないっていう中で、仮に、堀口対平なのか、2人が日本に UFC を持っていくって言ってくれるんじゃないかという期待もありますけど、いかがですか？
そうですね。僕と堀口さん、そう活躍してて、日本大会が UFC で、UFC の日本大会を開催するっていうのは僕の夢の一つでもありますし、それが実現することを、願って、ずっと勝ち続けようと思います。
Yeah, I think it's good for the sport that myself, obviously, and also Kyoji Horiguchi being here and showing great performances. Obviously, one of my dream or goal is to bring UFC to Japan, UFC event to Japan. So, hope I get another great fight this week and make my dream come true soon.
Who do you believe is going to be the champion after Saturday? Do you think Joshua Van is able to upset Pantoja?
土曜日の後、どちらがチャンピオンになっていると思いますか？パントージャ、ジョシュア・バンと。
いろんなメディアで聞かれてて、チャンピオンが勝つって言ってたんですけど、本当に、ファイトウィークを過ごしてみて、両方とも調子良さそうですし、正直わかんない、50-50の戦いかなと思います。
Obviously, I've been asked this question so many times. I've always answered the champ would win, meaning Pantoja. But hearing fight week and kind of seeing both and the condition, they look awesome. So I don't know, I would say 50-50 at this moment.
That's over here. When we talk about potential fights with you and Kyoji Horiguchi in Japan, just other great fighters from Japan going to fight over there, do you think a fight like that with a good supporting, undercard can bring back the vibes of like pride to the modern day UFC era?
平さん選手と堀口選手の名前が上がって、仮に日本でその対戦があったらいいなみたいな話もありましたけど、他にも日本人選手多くいると思いますけど、日本大会を実現させるためにもやっぱり他にいろんな日本人選手がどんどん増えていくっていうことが鍵になってくると思いですか？そうごめんなさい。かつプライド時代みたいな人気が日本でも上がるようにということ。
それでプライド時代の人気を人気がまた日本に来るように UFC でもっと日本が盛り上がるように、日本人選手もっともっと、ロードトゥーだったりいろんなとこから契約してもっともっと UFC ファイターが増えて日本大会も も毎年できるようになっていければなって思ってます。
Yeah, everyone talks about the Pride Days. Obviously true. Hopefully we get more UFC fighters through like Road to UFC and all that. Be able to have more Japanese fighters and bring the UFC event to Japan, not just once, but it has to be an annual event. That's what we're trying to do.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Josh, front right here.
Hey.
We're used to seeing you every month pretty much. So I guess how's it been, not having to prepare for like a quick turnaround and getting an actual full camp to prepare for the champion?
Man, it feels good to have a full camp, you know what I mean? But I was kind of enjoying the break too, because I take 2 months off and things like that. So now I let my body recover for this hard camp. So I'm very happy with the camp.
Well, I was going to ask, like, how, I guess, physically, how are you feeling after, the back? Because we kept talking about how great that run was, but physically, how are you feeling after that?
Physically, I feel strong, man. I think that my body needed that rest or something. You know what I mean? So now I feel great.
There seems to be this narrative online that, win or lose, Josh Van is still kind of going to bring the heat. Like, it's going to be a potential fight of the night regardless. So I'm sure you want to win, but I guess how proud are you in the fact that in a short amount of time, people are already kind of marking you as like can't miss fights?
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Because before the Royval fight, there was like, even if you lose, it's okay, right? So I don't plan on losing. You know what I mean? So I'm here to take that belt from one of the greatest in our division. So that's the goal, and I stay at that.
And I heard this story from one of your coaches. I can't remember which one, but he said like on day one, he put you through the ringer and then you stuck around and you kept at this. So I guess from that moment to now, like, I guess what's been the biggest, difference in learning curve you experienced from your first day in that gym to now preparing to fight who many consider one of the greatest flyweights of all time?
Yeah, my first day in the gym, man, I was just a little cocky as a kid, that thing I was one of the best fighters in the world. You know what I mean? Now, we got the techniques and all the skill down, and you know what I mean? Just fighting for something more important now.
And with Pantoja, I think, especially the last couple of fights, I think fans kind of know what to expect. He walks forward, he kind of pushes through his opponent's offense and then looks for the takedown, submits him pretty quickly. So I guess what are his opponents doing wrong, I guess, that Pantoja can take advantage of seemingly every time he goes out there?
Yeah, like I always say, man, they give him too much respect. And you got to remember, I'm a counter puncher. So let's see if you want to rush in with that, you know what I mean? We have to wait and see come December 6th.
And I've seen a few of your interviews where people are bringing up this old versus new narrative, and you don't seem to like that. Like, I see you shake your head right now. So what is it about that narrative that kind of bugs you?
Because, we got to give credit to Pantoja, man. He's the greatest of all time in my eyes, in our division. So this is what the up-and-coming versus the great. Yeah.
And since your last fight, Kyoji rejoins the UFC. He got that big win, called for the title. Tyra was just in here, and he thinks if he stops Brandon Moreno, he should get the title fight. But when we see these great champions lose, oftentimes they maybe get rebooked in the rematch right away just because he's been the champion for so long. So is Pantoja a guy that if you win, you know you're probably going to have to run it back with right away just based on his resume and the respect the UFC has for him?
Yeah, after I beat Pantoja, you know, that's the UFC to decide who I'll fight next and things like that. So I don't really worry about nothing else, you know what I mean? There's only one guy's in my mind, that's Pantoja.
Just last one for me. How's, I guess, life changed for the people around you too? Because it's one thing for you to experience this, but with the people that came along you on this ride, this rapid rise, how have they handled, I guess, the new attention at the gym? And, you know, we've seen you in your church and everything. How's the family kind of reacted to this?
A lot has changed, man. A lot has changed seeing Royval fight, you know. Life is great. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, life is great.
So Josh, what would it mean to bring the title back to Houston, but also represent Myanmar and have a Myanmar champion?
Yeah, becoming the first Burmese UFC fighter was history itself too, you know what I mean? And then just not only that, becoming like a UFC champion, it would mean the world to me, you know what I mean? And for Houston, Texas, man, they show me support and things like that, you know what I mean? As soon as they hear about this fight, everybody reaching me out, like, you know, reaching out to me and things like that. They're like, hey, whatever you need, we are here. So Houston, Texas have been supporting me.
Are you still reading all of the comments and videos about your fights?
Oh, for sure. You know, yeah.
What's the funniest one you've seen so far, like as for a prediction for this fight?
Well, I would say funny because they be like, yeah, Pantoja, you know. It was like, but then one of the funniest thing I read is like, yeah, he's a kid. Even if you lose, it's okay. You know, I think that's dumb. Yeah.
Awesome. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Josh, up front. You and I talked a little bit yesterday about the diet, and there was like some comments about it, about McDonald's and, you know, things like that. There was a former NFL player, Chad Ochocinco, who was like an advocate for McDonald's. He said he ate McDonald's throughout his entire NFL career.
Yeah.
And his explanation was like, all these guys are out here eating healthy, and these are the guys that are getting hurt. And I'm the guy that's eating like shit, and I haven't had a real bad injury in my whole life. Explain that, you know what I mean? Because a lot of guys are like, man, I don't know if a pro fighter should be eating McDonald's or things like that.
Yeah, man. I get tired of eating healthy stuff. You know what I mean? Like it just look too healthy. You know what I mean? And I train like 3 times a day. So, you know, after my strength conditioning, I have like 30 minutes to go to the other gym. So, you know what I mean? There's McDonald's in between. So, you know what I mean? That's why I always stop by McDonald's and get burritos, hash browns, and an orange juice. Yeah.
Do any of the guys at the gym give you shit for it?
Oh yeah, for sure. My coach is like, yeah, you eating McDonald's? I'm like, yeah.
But there's never been like a weight issue or anything like that.
Nah, man, my weight is always great.
And then we've seen like UFC fighters in the past have kind of like relationships with musicians. Like we'd see McGregor and Drake, or we'd see Dustin Poirier and Lil Wayne. Is there anybody specifically music-wise that you would ever like to, I don't know, link up with before a fight or something like that? Like maybe Chief Keef or, you know, somebody out there.
Yeah, that'd be dope, right, Chief Keef? That's who I come out to almost every fight. So, but nah, I never really thought about that. Yeah.
Josh, over here.
Hey.
Are you satisfied with your preparation for this fight, in terms of takedown defense and submission defense?
Yeah, yes, I'm very, very happy with my preparation for this fight.
Yeah, because we haven't seen your submission defense. So can you expand that?
Yeah, a lot of people haven't seen my submission defense because nobody really tried to submit me. Yeah.
Okay. How did you prepare mentally for this title fight?
My mentor is always ready. You know what I mean? I was ready for the title fight 2 fights ago. You know what I mean? So I'm ready.
Yeah. Last year, this time, you were here with Cody Darden, right this time you were early prelim, and then now just a year you're fighting for title fight. How do you feel about that?
I feel great, man, especially after see myself on the poster. I look damn good in that poster, you know what I mean? So I'm very, very happy with what's happening right now.
Okay, if you win this fight, do you want to defend the title in the White House?
Yeah, when I win the fight, I want to defend the title wherever the UFC want me to defend it.
Okay. Is it your family, all your family coming? Is it your mom going to be by the ringside supporting you in this fight?
Yes, my mom's always here, you know what I mean, supporting me every fight. So, yes.
Okay, one last question. Nyama berita diyo nyamalu ne dengan degane abi ni nyama berita diyo bonom nyamalu ne pam sekali tu pam na pyo chin le.
မြန်မာပရိသတ်တွေအကုန်လုံးတို့ကျွန်တော်ယုံဝတ်တာပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်ကိုအားပေးတဲ့တို့လူတွေလည်းကျွန်တော်ဝန်တာပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်အကောင်းဆုံးကြိုးစားမယ်ပြီးရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ UFC ကပ်ကိုယူမယ်
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joshua, over here.
Hey.
You just mentioned how important it is for you to represent your country and also Houston. But what does it mean for you to represent the new era of fighters? Because you will be the first fighter born in the 2000s to fight for the title belt.
Yeah, it feels great to represent the younger generation, you know what I mean? Like, look at that shit, like the 20s, you know what I mean? The first guy to born in the 2000s, that's history too, you know what I mean? So I now I'm just feeling like every time I fight, there's history, the new history and things like that. So I feel great.
And some people have questioned how fast that you have climbed to the title shot. Do you think this fight against Pantoja is the right moment to prove people that you are exactly where you're meant to be?
Yes, I feel like this is the right time, the perfect timing, you know what I mean? So, because mentally and physically, I'm prepared.
Thank you, Joshua.
Josh, one more. Just because I know people are going to bring it up, you called Pantoja the GOAT at flyweight, and people are obviously going to kind of clip that and say, oh, what about DJ? Some people think he's the greatest fighter in any weight class. So I guess why do you consider Pantoja the GOAT over Demetrius Johnson?
Well, I started watching UFC fight after 2017, so like I don't really see Demetrius Johnson fight. So you know what I mean. All I see is Pantoja, and you know what I mean. When he got the belt, that was when I made my debut and things like that. So you know, I was kind of used to seeing him at the top. So you know, that's why I say he's the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Before we let you loose on Piotr here, on behalf of the UFC, Don and myself, it's our pleasure to present to Piotr his 50-time perfect test history jacket. He's been part of the program for over 8 years now. That's 365 days times 8 years that he's been held responsible and accountable for where he's at. Petr is a great reflection of the international aspect of our program. He at times lives and trains in Russia, Thailand, Abu Dhabi, Florida, and no matter where he's at, he or his team are responsible for reporting where he's at so he can be tested. Along those lines, he actually, along with Merab, was tested here yesterday at Apex. And so a great example of no matter where you're at, no matter what you have going on in your life, if a tester comes, you drop everything and provide a sample. So Petr, congratulations. It's our pleasure to present you with this jacket. Thank you for being a role model and example of a clean UFC. Congrats, man.
Pewter, front right here. Right. I guess we'll start with how's just camp been this time preparing for Merab? Because, we've heard you in various interviews, you weren't maybe 100% for that first one. So I guess now, several years later, how was camp this time preparing for him?
Во-первых, хотят спросить про лагерь. Первый вопрос насчет лагеря. Ты говорил в некоторых интервью, что для первого боя ты не совсем был готов, потому что были травмы. В этот раз пару лет прошло. Как прошел лагерь?
Мой лагерь прошел отлично. Я прекрасно себя чувствую. И я сам в ожидании субботы для того, чтобы показать, на что я способен.
My camp went really great. I feel great. And right now myself, I cannot wait until Saturday to show what I can really do.
When you guys first fought, he wasn't the champion yet. So after experiencing him in there for 5 rounds, did you think he would reach the title, not just reach it, but win the title? And did you think it would take you this long and to get the rematch that I assume you wanted right away?
Первый раз, когда вы дрались, он еще не был чемпионом, но у тебя была возможность прочувствовать его все 5 раундов. С тех пор, понятное дело, он стал чемпионом, защитил пояс. Думал ли ты, что тебе так долго займет добраться обратно на возможность с ним биться?
Безусловно, Мераб проделал огромную работу своими победами, доказав, что он является одним из сильнейших в нашем дивизионе. Также мои поединки показали, что я заслуженно являюсь претендентом номер 1 для того, чтобы провести наш бой-реванш.
It's no question about the fact that Merab is a great warrior, that he showed with his fights that he is a deserving champion, that he deserves to be where he's at. But I also want to say that with my fights and with my performances, I showed that there is no other clear number 1 contender as opposed to me. So I deserve to be the number 1 contender, and I'm ready and able to fight for this title.
This is your 3rd rematch you've had in your career with Magomedov and then Aljamain, and now you're rematching Merab. I guess, did you take anything away from preparing for those 2 rematches that, you can use in this camp, like the adjustments you made going into the second fight?
Это уже 3-й реванш в твоей карьере. С Магомедовым был, с Алджо был. Из подготовки для реванша ты что-то извлек, что помогло тебе в подготовке на этот реванш?
Я думаю, что мы оба имеем гораздо больше информации друг о друге, чем первое противостояние. Если взять мой реванш с Магомедовым, взять мой реванш со Стерлингом, 100% в реванше я был лучше. И, безусловно, в эту субботу я уверен, что реванш с Мерабом, он будет таким же.
Obviously, we have a lot of information that we've downloaded about each other. We know each other better. But if you look at my first 2 rematches, with Magomedov and Sterling, you could see that I was 100% better in the second fight. So I'm determined to make sure that I'm much better in the second fight against Merab.
Я также считаю, что в реванше я победил Стерлинга. Вот эти вот его пересидки за спиной немножко сломали картину боя, но я уверен, что в том поединке я тоже одержал победу.
I'm sure that I also won the rematch against Sterling. This whole sitting behind the back, the dragging out the fight, all of that. But I'm sure that I got the victory in that fight as well.
There was a bit of bad blood between you and Merab.
Вы понимаете, я прилетаю через всю планету, дерусь дома с тем же Стерлингом, с тем же Мерабом. Просто представить, сколько пролетел километров и конкурировать у них дома. Конечно же, для меня это гораздо сложнее.
Just think about this. I flew across the entire planet. I come back to rematch Sterling or Merab in their home, in their hometown. Everything's against me. Just think about how much pressure that is. Just think how hard it is. Obviously, it's much harder for me than it is for them.
У нас было шоу в Таиланде. Мы должны были быть там тренерами с Мерабом. Он много писал, ему уже купили билеты, но в конечном итоге он просто испугался и не приехал. Вместо себя отправил Стерлинга. Я его месяц мучил.
There was a show that we were supposed to shoot in Thailand where both myself and Merab were supposed to be coaches. He wrote a lot. He texted a bunch. He said whatever. They actually bought a ticket for him. But at the very end, he got scared, didn't come out, and sent Sterling instead of him. And so I was there for a month just big brothering Sterling.
How was that experience with Aljamain? You guys cool now?
Как этот опыт с Салджо там вообще? Вы нормально сейчас?
Все нормально. Алджо нормальный парень.
All is good. He's a cool kid.
So you mentioned, you felt a little pressure flying across the country, fighting Merab and Aljamain in their backyard, but you have to do that again this time. So do you...
А то он один сегодня вопросы будет задавать, что ли?
Are you the only one who's going to ask questions today or what?
Do you still feel the same pressure from those first couple title fights you had in Las Vegas compared to this time around?
Сказал, что на тебе больше давления, что тебе сложнее подходить к этому, потому что тебе нужно было лететь через всю планету. А чувствуешь ли ты какое-то давление сейчас подходу к этому бою, потому что в прошлый раз тебе тоже нужно было это делать? Что ты извлек из этого?
Блин, если честно, мне хочется улыбаться. Я прекрасно себя чувствую. Я не знаю, с чем это связано, но у меня хорошее настроение. Вот. Если бы только Леха иногда его не портил.
To be honest, I just want to smile. I'm in a great mood. I feel great. I mean, I don't feel pressure. I want to fight. And I really I'm in a good mood, except that one teammate of mine, Lecha, that keeps on constantly souring it.
Он всегда очень серьезный. И на протяжении этой недели я ему говорю: брат, надо улыбаться, улыбайся.
He's always way too serious. And this whole week I'm telling him, smile, dude. You got to smile, brother.
Just last one for me. Talk to me about the jacket you got, the 50 clean test. I guess what are the emotions after getting that? Seems like obviously a big accomplishment.
Проговори, пожалуйста, про куртку, в которой ты сейчас сидишь. Для тебя это достаточно большое достижение. Какие ощущения?
Брат, ты посмотри, как она села на меня, как родная просто. А?
Look at me. Look at the way I look at it. It's sitting on me like it's made for me. Look at it.
Petr, curious, how much more satisfying is winning this UFC title going to be compared to the fight with Jose Aldo, which is, a vacant title and everything, getting your revenge here, everything you've been through? Is this going to be more satisfying than the first UFC title win?
Насколько больше это получит удовлетворение выиграть этот реванш сейчас здесь по сравнению с тем боем, который ты когда ты дрался против Алдо? Для тебя это вернуться опять сюда, закрыть свое поражение и забрать пояс у того человека, которому ты проиграл?
100% этот поединок, он гораздо важнее для меня, для всего сообщества. Вот. Для меня очень важно вернуться и показать, на что я способен.
100%. This is a way more important fight for myself, for the entire team, for everybody who's with me. It's important for me to come back and to really show what I can do.
What's just your perspective on Merab's very busy year here, the 4 camps, the 4 title fights? How is that going to impact what version of him shows up on Saturday, if at all?
Что вообще можешь сказать про то, что Мераб уже 4 лагеря прошел, 4 раза дрался в этом году, у него был очень занятой год. Насколько это повлияет на его выступление в субботу, ты думаешь?
А где все поединки Мераба проходили? Напомните, пожалуйста.
Can you remind me where all of those fights were, all the Merab fights were?
Some of them were here. They were here, weren't they? All of them?
Многие из них здесь. По-моему, все они были здесь.
Все поединки были здесь, в Вегасе.
All of the fights were here in Vegas.
Окей,
Лос-Анджелесе в начале года дрался с Умаром.
One in Los Angeles with Umar.
Лос-Анджелес, how many hours need flight to Los Angeles?
4 hours drive.
Окей, it's home too, да?
4 часа.
Это тоже дома.
Same thing as
Я
fighting
думаю,
at
что
home.
дома можно драться каждые выходные. Реально, на заднем дворе у себя он дерется. Живет здесь дерется 4 раза. Я когда подписал контракт с UFC в 2018 году, за год провел 5 поединков. Если бы эти все 5 поединков проходили у меня дома, я бы 10 провел боев.
It's very easy to fight in your backyard. Here or Los Angeles, it's the same thing. You know, it's basically like fighting at home. You can fight at home every single weekend. In your backyard, you can fight all the time. When I signed the contract in 2018, I had 5 fights that year as well, and they were not at home. If I could fight at home every one of those fights, I could fight 10 times that year.
Петя, вопрос у меня. В Таиланде ты сделал подарок Стерлингу, подарил ему статуэтку Оскара. Подготовил ли ты какой-нибудь подарок Мерабу?
When you fought in Los Angeles, you fought Sterling and you gave him an Oscar as a present. Do you have anything prepared for Merab this time around?
Ну вот хотелось бы для Мераба тоже вот такое колено подарить.
I would really love to give him a gift of my knee.
Считаешь ли ты его считают одним из величайших чемпионов в вашем весе в 61 килограмм? Считаешь ли ты сам так?
Do you agree that he's one of the greatest champions in your weight and 61 kgs? Do you also respect him and do you also regard him as the greatest champion?
Безусловно, он проделал отличную работу, доказав своими боями, что он один из сильнейших в истории в 61 килограмм.
No questions. He done all the work and did all the proof to show that he is one of the greatest in 61 kgs.
Будет глупо, если я буду недооценивать или говорить, что это не так. Факты, они сами говорят за себя, да, и наоборот для меня это огромная мотивация, огромная серьезность, чтобы быть мотивированным, собранным и готовым к этому бою на 100%.
It would be silly for me to try and say that that's not the case, to try and take away from his accomplishment. No, the facts are facts. If you look at paper, he is one of the greatest. But for me, that's also a motivation, something that shows me that I need to push myself further and show what I can do.
Представляете, в субботу No Mercy побьет такого Мераба. Каково это будет мне, а?
Imagine this Saturday, No Mercy beats this great Merab. What would I feel like, huh?
Петр, приветствую тебя. В начале своей карьеры в UFC ты провел 4 боя за 8 месяцев и 5 боев за 11,5 месяцев. То есть твой темп был даже выше, чем...
Брат, а ты что, ты с часов читаешь, что ли?
Брат, так вышло.
Да? На часы смотрю.
Технология. Чувствовал ли ты какой-то спад на 4-м своем бою из-за своего вот этого бешеного темпа? И как чувствовал себя уже в 5-м бою, вот в последнем бою?
At the beginning of your career, in the first year of your career, you did 4 fights in 8 months and then eventually did 5 fights in a matter of 11 and a half months. So technically your pace was actually even greater than that of Merab. But after the 4th fight or during the 4th fight, did you feel yourself slowing down or kind of feel yourself weaker after all that preparation?
Нет, я чувствовал себя отлично. Это был первый год моего попадания в UFC. Вот вся эта новая история. Плюс у меня 2 голодных менеджера было. Я был первым бойцом, который был в UFC. Правильно я говорю, Саят? Вот. Дэнни тоже здесь находится, он молчит, он сейчас является менеджером Мераба. Вот. Но они были очень голодные, они меня толкали просто на каждый турнир. Я думаю, что если была возможность на 6-м турнире подраться, они бы меня и на 6-й турнир отправили.
No, to be honest, I felt really great. It was just the beginning of my career. I was the first in the UFC. So I had 2 really hungry managers, both Sayat and Danny. He's sitting here right now. He's kind of quiet right now because he also manages Merab, but he was hungry back then and they were pushing me into any UFC events they could stick me in. I'm sure there was a 6-1 that year. They would put me in the 6-1 that year as well.
Just if you're very high on obviously Merab's skills and have praised him as a champion here, do you feel?
Hey, brother, I with you too, brother. You legend.
Right here. Do you feel if you win this fight, it's going to have to be an immediate trilogy fight with Merab, given everything he's done as a champion?
Если ты побеждаешь в субботу, стоит ли сразу сделать третий бой между вами, завершающий бой, потому что он так много всего добился, он такой хороший чемпион, ты всегда говоришь, что ты уважаешь то, что он сделал, поэтому заслуживает ли он сразу же реванша?
Знаете, если забегать вперед, то, безусловно, я считаю, что Мераб достоин будет любого реванша, который он захочет, который... Я думаю, что и UFC его в этом поддержит в случае моей победы. И я думаю, что это будет крутая трилогия.
You know, if you look ahead, I think that Merab deserves any rematch that he wants, whether he calls it out or the UFC calls it out. And I think that he deserves a rematch. And if I do win, I think that it would be a really cool trilogy to put that third fight together.
And what do you just think of the bantamweight fights made next month at UFC 324 between Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong, and then Davidson Figueiredo and Umar Nurmagomedov? Who do you believe wins those?
Мысли про ребят, которые будут драться в первом событии в 2026 году. Омели, Мераб, Сон Юдонг, все эти ребята. Что ты думаешь про эти бои?
Ну, это все ребята, которых я побил. Блин, что я о них могу думать сейчас? Хочется, чтобы что-то менялось там.
It's all the guys that I've beaten already. I mean, what can I tell you about it? I mean, I want something to change in the division.
Just kind of going along that note, obviously, I know you and a lot of people feel like you beat Sean O'Malley when that fight did happen. So, built or not, is that one that you'd like to get back regardless before you call it one day?
Я знаю, что ты это говоришь. Многие считают, что ты победил тот бой против Омели. Выиграл, проиграл, неважно, хотел ли бы ты реваншироваться с ним.
Ну, сейчас я сфокусирован на своем поединке. Я не думаю там о Амели. Честно сказать, нет желания. Опять же, я не делаю бои. Это организовывает матчмейкинг, UFC. Если будет такое предложение, то моя задача делать свою работу.
You know, right now I'm focused on my fight ahead of me on this Saturday. But to be honest, there's not like a need or a desire specifically to fight him again. Again, I'm going to say it. I'm not the one who puts the fights together. The UFC does it. The matchmakers do it. If such opportunity presents, if that's what they come with me, we'll think about it. We'll look at it. Фотки надо сделать. Фотографии. Down here. Внизу.
Yeah, Merab, right here in front of you.
Hello, everyone.
I know, like almost after the January win, you kind of laid out this game plan. I could potentially do 4 title fights this year. Here we are on the verge of the 4th one. Is it almost like shocking to you a little bit that this all happened so perfectly?
Yeah, that was my goal to be busy this year, and thank you UFC to make this one happen. But I was willing to fight 4 times this year, and it's happening. Yeah, we are in 5 weeks. Today is Wednesday. All I have to do is make weight and be happy after.
Yes. How is the weight cut going? Because we already see everyone. They're dissecting your interviews. They're wondering how you're looking and how you're feeling. Can you share with us?
It's never easy. It's always tough. It's mental game, but I've been worse feeling on Wednesday, but today, I'm good. I feel good. Yeah, but I'll be fine.
What throughout camp, what have been the upsides and the downsides of doing this, being able to build off all your work, but obviously it's a lot of work on your body?
Yeah, I have no problem with work training, to be disciplined. Everything was, even I had some little injuries, but no problem. I'm dealing with this. I don't complain. Nobody knows. Like I don't really complain with, other than I tell UFC doctors. But only hard part is for me weight cut. But I'm good.
What is your goal in this fight? Because you couldn't have beat Peter in a more dominant way last time around, right? The pressure's on you, I guess, a little bit to match that performance. What do you need to do to make it better this time?
I'm looking for finish him. It's gonna be tough because nobody ever finish him. But I want to win against him. Just it's another win. And of course, it's gonna be record in 4th fight wins this year. And it's another win in UFC, and every win is important for me, important for my country and my team. And I want to show good fights, UFC fans, and I want to even last fight between me and Peter was good, but I want to do even better fight and keep improve. I'm keep improving every time.
I believe the last fight was in the small cage, right? And this one will be the full-size octagon. Is that going to impact things at all? And does that favor you or him?
I don't know, actually, to be honest, because, yes, it was in small octagon. And who knows? I'm a fighter, and long as it's a cage and it's not open mats, I'm doing good, I will always find the wall, and I will always pressure my opponent, and, I will find a way to win.
How happy does it make you just to see all the activity in the bantamweight division right now? Some huge fights made for next month. Going to line up contenders. Ayman Zahabi's out there saying he wants you.
Yeah.
No shortage of fights to come up for you next year, right?
Yes, I'm excited Zahabi is coming from a long winning streak, which is good. Yeah, Song Yadong has fight against Sean O'Malley. If Yadong wins somehow, it's gonna. Of course, I'm cheering for Sean O'Malley, but if Yadong wins, then okay, I would like to fight him too. And then there is other guys then who has other fights too, and then if they win, and then I will have an ex-contender. But me first, I'm focusing on Petr Yan. I don't overlook him. He's a top challenger. Not every fight goes same way. One mistake can change everything. And I realized that danger from Petr Yan. I know he's dangerous, and it's a fight. Hopefully I'm gonna win this. And like you said, and we have more contenders. That's good.
Yeah, and just last one for me. If you do win this fight, it'll be 15 in a row in the UFC for you. The record is Islam and Anderson Silva at 16, but what would that mean to you, I guess, to put yourself up there with the greatest winning streaks in UFC history?
Yeah, that would be great resume on my record, and that will be good, perfect. That's gonna make me even more feel better. I was just dreamed to fight the UFC, and I don't know if I will ever come this far, but now I'm keep going and keep improving and breaking records, and this feels good for sure.
Right here.
Yes.
In your first fight with Petr, there was a lot of bad blood. There was the pushing on the scales and everything. He was up here earlier, and he was much more complimentary of you. He said, you are the best bantamweight ever, and even if you lose to anyone, you probably deserve an immediate rematch against anyone you want. So I guess, is the issues with you resolved now that you did fight him for all those rounds?
Yeah, that time it was more personal fight for me. Now it's more competition, because we fought once already, and then I beat him now. Every time he was fighting, I was cheering for him, and I look his Instagram. He's a great father. As a fighter, he was always a good fighter. The only problem I had with him, like, he was bully. He was talking trash about me, about Aljo, our team, and like he was he was just not give us respect. And that was the problem. But now it's all good. Like, doesn't matter what, I will shake his hand and wish him best for his life.
He joked that you were too afraid to go do the reality show with him in Thailand. Aljamain did. So I guess, why didn't you do the show with him?
I just win fight against, I believe it was Sean O'Malley, and I was just fresh champion, and this reality show it was in Thailand with the crazy fighters, and I was willing to go, but and then the like a lot of people told me to it was, I don't know, like I ended up don't go, and my friend Aljama is telling go there, and then I wasn't not scared, like I was, like not scared, but like I ended up not go there because it was some situations there, like something, and then that's why I don't ended up go. But but they offered me a lot of money. It was hard to say no.
So Aljamain got the money then.
And then I guess they need me. They offered me more money, and then it was a little bit disappointed. They don't give same money Aljamain is telling. It was crazy. But even Aljo take last minute. Aljo saved them.
Yeah. And then just last one for me. I remember after your last win, you kind of pointed at Mario Bautista could be a contender, and then you said now Song Yadong and could be a contender. And you've always wanted to fight Figueiredo, but they keep matching them with people you've already fought. Do you wish the UFC would stop matching these fresh faces against guys you've already beaten? Because Umar is now knocking off potential contenders.
No, that's cool. Of course, division keep going, and the Mario Bautista was coming at, I believe, 8 winning streak, and that's why I wanted to fight him, because he looked very good. But now we all see he has, like, I guess he can't get up, like, I guess, and then I guess he wasn't not the best contender. But it's always good to division keep going, and we see who's what level they are, and of course division has to go, not waiting for me, and whoever UFC puts in front of me, I will fight. But I of course I like to fight guys who's coming from long winning streak and who look like very good and who makes me excited, and who make me to work hard, makes me motivated, like for now Petr Yan make me motivated, because he beat Davison Figueiredo, he beat Song Yadong, and he beat Marcus Magui very dominant way. So now he's the guy.
Merab, over here, you were chosen to round out the pay-per-view era with this last ESPN card. Does that mean anything to you? And what do you look most forward to this new era with Paramount and for the sport?
Yeah, everything is meta, of course. Like, it's gonna be cool to fight last pay-per-view event, and I feel like every fight I have, it's something special here. I fought at the Spear. I may fight at the White House. It's everything is cool. And even just fight UFC. It's even fight here at Apex. It's big for me. I'm grateful. And everything is meta. And then ESPN did very good work, and I love fight. ESPN.
Yeah, and you talked about just now, the difference between that first build-up with Petr Yan a couple years ago to now. in this stage of your career, holding the belt, do you prefer, this more, respectful build up, or do you often enjoy when maybe a fighter lights, a little fire under your eyes?
No, I never like this make dramatic or something, It's a fight. We are professional fighters and people will watch anyways, We don't have to, like there it was one guy, the spoiled guy who called me after our fight. He said, "Oh, Merab, like don't post picture of me. It was we just build the fight." Or I'm like, bro, why you did this? You don't need to do this. And then he's also like his assistant or his some kind of guy also called me that it was. They told me word I wanna. It was. They said this is. What's the word? I forget, but I don't like this, man. People, MMA fans will watch our fights anyway, and if it's not organic, why we have to disrespect each other or something? I never like this, but whatever was like, it was real, it was real, and I'm a real guy. I don't. Maybe I joke, whatever, but it's but joke is joke. But like, I don't like to talk trash for no reason, and I don't like to somebody disrespect me for no reason.
Merab Dvalishvili. Last week there was a successful MMA event held in Georgia. Do you think this can be an indication that Georgia is ready to host an UFC event?
Absolutely, yeah. It was impressive how this new MMA organization did this great MMA event, and of course, this shows that Georgia has a big potential. Like this 10,000 arena was full of the people and great. They give us great show and a lot of Georgian young talents. If we make UFC Georgia, if it's gonna happen, these guys will fight in UFC in Georgia, and it's gonna open doors for a lot of Georgian fighters to in UFC. If this gonna happen. Like UFC Georgia, it happens. Yeah.
Perfect. Merab, on the countdown, you said every brand is trying to sponsor you. Free cars, free clothes, free watches. So what does Champion spend money on today?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, just I'm paying taxes here in America, and and just I have a couple mortgages here. That's it, like and of course, like pretty much I don't spend like crazy money, like for like yeah.
Thank you, Merab. წარმატებები რეკორდის დამხობაში. შაბათს.
Hi, Merab. Thank you so much for your time. In your first fight with Yan, your pressure as well as your pace made a huge difference. What adjustments, if any, have you prepared for in this rematch?
Yeah, I'm keep telling myself I have to keep a same mindset and same pressure, which is gonna be hard. Like now, I think like now Petr Yan will be more aggressive and more pressure, and me feel like I will be more technical and more skill, and but same time I have to be mad to about him, which is I don't know. Let's see. First, I'm focusing to make weight, and I'm gonna think about this Friday in Saturday's plans. Like right now I'm just relaxed. I just saw Peter outside, and I said, "Hey, Peter, how are you?" Like nice warm hello to him.
That's beautiful. And I know you mentioned your technicality, that you're focusing on that. What did you learn from the first fight with Yan that carries into this rematch?
Yeah, Peter is kind of like bully fighter. If he make you walk your back and he will throw you a punch, it makes you relax and it make you like a bully. He will destroy you. So. And you have to bully him back, you have to don't give him chance, and you have to just, just you have to be mad to fight him. That's what I learned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Merab, over here.
Hello.
Hi, Merab. You just mentioned how important it is for you to represent your country and also to bring the UFC to Georgia. Do you have any plan on your mind for the future to promote the younger fighters from Georgia, or any project that you maybe can be thinking in the future to promote them?
Of course, absolutely. I'm Georgian, and I will always support my country, and I will always help Georgian MMA fighters wherever I can to promote them or help them to get UFC or wherever I can. I'm working on some projects now, and then soon everybody will mm, see good news about this. And yeah, whatever I can, I will always help my country or my my Georgian MMA fighters.
And now thinking about the division, how many challenges do you think that you have left on the 135 pounds, or do you see close to going up on the 145, considering that you have Aljo there on that division?
Yes, right now I'm focusing on 135 belt, and of course there is challenges now, and then there is other fights, and we will have a more contenders. And like I said, first I have to win fight against Petr Yan, and we go from there. Who will be best? And I will fight the best. Like I know I look like unstoppable, but it's a fight. Like I don't want to. Like I just want to focus step by step.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Merab.
you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, let's have a fun fight week, and I'm sure December 6th will be great show for everyone. Let's go.
All right, we got one more for you today. Our last recipient of the day of the 50-time perfect test history jacket, Alexandre Pantoja. And we were looking this morning, he is the 85th recipient in the history of this program. However, if you look at those 85 recipients, I think you can count on one hand those that were in the conversation for the greatest to ever do it in their weight class, and certainly Pantoja is. And that's really rarefied air. And what that shows is not only can you be great, but you could potentially be the best of all time doing it the right way, doing it with integrity, doing it with credibility, following the rules. And that's as impressive as you can get in professional sports, and I think as unique as you can get in professional sports. So Pantoja, congratulations. We're real proud of you. Thank you for everything you do to set a great example for everybody, kids, other fighters, professional athletes, and continued success in your career. Appreciate it.
You guys good? Oh. Alexandre, right in front right here. Before we get into the fight, I have to ask about the jacket. I guess how proud of you to get that 50 test jacket and become the 85th athlete?
I feel so happy because I think when you talk about the doping test and all that stuff, when you're thinking about we fight with another man, and it's very dangerous if you're someone like I use steroids or stuff like that to get better performance in the octagon, that's very dangerous sport, and especially if you thinking about use some substance to get advantage about that, and that's why I think that's very important. You have like a very secure control about the steroids and everything you can use, It's very important to make this sport clean, because when you fight in the octagon, you can take someone live, and I will respect everybody make this sport clean.
What's the most annoying place that they've showed up to take it? Like the test, like the drug test you have to take? Like it's always random. So I guess what's the weirdest place they've shown up?
He go to my city in Arraial do Cabo, like 3 hours from the capital, Rio de Janeiro. I never believe someone can go there. And I've been very surprised when I see the guys knock my door there.
Looking at Josh, I guess what do you make of him as an opponent? Because you already got to face off with him. He's coming off of what many people consider the best fight of the year. You finally kind of get a fresh opponent that's not a rematch. So just overall, what do you make of Josh's skill set in there?
He's looking amazing. 2025 is a great year for him. What a good journey. And I think he's a very inspiring. A lot of this young generation, a lot of guys seeking the UFC belts not too far. You feel like if you make a very good work, and Josh make that, I think this is going to inspire a lot of guys from this new generation, especially the guys born in 2000. And I feel happy to face off someone like a very young and hungry like him.
he was in here and he said that your past opponents give you too much respect in the octagon. Like they kind of play into your game, and he's not going to be that. He's going to only focus on himself and be fearless in there. So I guess what type of fight are you expecting from Josh?
I expect the best one. You know, when you talk about to fight for the belt, I have the chance to fight for the belt one more time. You know, that's my mindset all the time. You know, I not go Saturday night to defend anything. I go to conquer another belt. And when you fight for the belt, you need thinking about you in the prime time. You know, and I finished a lot of guys to make this moment happen for me, you know, and I know I'm gonna fight with the best, Josh Avan. And when you look to the back, when he fight to Royval, he just have 2 weeks short notes. I know I'm gonna fight with someone much better to fight with the Royval that night. You know, he have a full camp for me. He have so much things to adjust, but in the same time, that's very good for me because I know who's my next opponent. After my fight with the Kaikara France, he's stepping inside of the octagon, and I already know who's my next opponent, you know. And I really respect Josh Avan, and that's why I'm training so much. I'm involved a lot in these 2 years. I don't leave the gym. A lot of guys ask me to be more social media and a lot of stuff like that, but I like to work in the gym, you know. I want to beat the pound for pound. I want to be the best fighter of the world, you know. And it's very tough to conquer that because you have a lot of good champions right now. You know, you have Makhachev, Merab, Topuria, Shimaev, Pereira, Volkanovski, so many great guys. You know, I think that's the best time to be a UFC fan. But in the same time, it's very hard to fighters get this #1 position.
Well, I was going to ask about that. Do you feel like you're overlooked in the pound for pound rankings, considering how long you've been a champion in your division?
I think everybody's so great in this ranking. You know, a lot of guys have good points. You know, you see Shimaev on the feet, Topuria, Makhachev, like unstoppable, Merab, and I feel very happy to be part of that club. You know, the best guys, the best fighter of the world. You know. And what I want Saturday night is prove I'm the best one. And that's what I try to follow. You know, that's one of my goals.
Josh was in here and he said he considers you the greatest flyweight of all time because when he started MMA, Demetrius Johnson had already left the UFC. So he's only ever watched you fight because you were fighting for the belt when he joined the UFC. So I guess what do you make of him ranking you above DJ in the all-time flyweights?
I appreciate, you know, I think he said that because he tried to beat me. And when you try to beat the best one, you now is the #1, you know. He's a very smart kid, you know. I hear a lot what he's talking about. He have very good mindset, the same mindset I have. And that's amazing because he's so young and keep that strong mind. I know I'm going to face off with one of the best, but DJ has his own legacy, you know. He makes so great things for us. That's why I'm here today because DJ opened the way, they opened the door for us. My fight dream is with DJ, but it's not gonna happen. And just thinking about myself right now, what can I do? And I have so much things to do in this division yet, you know. Defend this belt, one of that. And I just look to Josh Avan. He's the next.
And just last one for me. I know you've been asked about Kyoji quite a bit, but Tetsuro Taira was just back here too, and he says he thinks if he becomes the first person to finish Brandon Moreno, he should be the one to get the next title shot. So I guess what do you make of the division as a whole? It seems like there's a lot of fresh new faces for you to fight.
That's amazing, you know. Amazing time to flyweight. We did an amazing job. All the guys from flyweight division. I think right now, flyweight division can be one of the best division in UFC. So entertainment, you know, have so much great fighters. You can rank top 1 to top 15, all good names. And especially right now, in the end of the year, you have so great fighters. You know, you have Kyoji Gucci Tagir, amazing fighting. You have the same night Moreno and Tatsuro. You have Royval and Manel Cape. A lot of things can change in this end of the year. And it's so special grab this belt in times like that for my division.
In the back, way back here. Earlier this week, UFC showed some footage they captured of your sons giving you some inspirational messages. And I believe it was the oldest one who said to you, don't be afraid of success. And basically he's repeating those words back to you. What does that mean to you to have now your children old enough to really be aware of what it is that you do and for them to understand the power of your words?
I saw the video, and all the time I saw this video, my eyes come with the water. And it's so special to be a father of my 2 kids. That's the best title I have in my life. And we're talking about don't be afraid of the success. It's about you work very hard to conquer something, but in the same time your mind try to block you and maybe put you down, but if you make everything to make this possible, don't be afraid of the success. That's the word, and I think you can use this in all positions in your life, when you have a tough challenge and you prepare yourself for that moment. Don't afraid of the success. If you work very hard for get that, you're gonna take the victory, and that's the best thing I have in my life. That's the best title I have in my life be a dad.
I know when you told me last week, you're kind of looking at this as old school versus new school, and Joshua didn't like those comments. He thinks it's actually kind of taking away from yourself because it makes it seem like maybe you're on the way out as opposed to at the very top, and he wants full credit. I'm just curious what you think of that and him kind of taking issue in your framing of this fight.
I talk about that, Joshua is a smart guy, it's not a kid, he's a guy. And he have very strong mindset, and he put this in the table, he don't want to talk about this difference about the years, the age, the generation, because he think he can beat me, and if he did that, he don't want people say because Pantoja is past, he's old right now, He's smart. He choose very smart his words, and I happy for that because I know I'm gonna face off one of the best guys. Someone's very ready for that moment. When I have 24, I'm too far about this moment, and he make but I'm not ready to leave my belt. I have opportunity to one more time get the chance to be the best flyweight in the world, and Saturday night I'm win.
Yeah, and he has his chance at history, right? He can be the first fighter born in the 2000s to win a UFC title, but I guess that's something that could be a positive on your end too, right? You can shut down a new generation fighter that's challenging for the gold in this era.
That's good, because I feel the similar mindset, mine, Joshua, I think when you bring all that for you, you can see your opponent is a tough opponent, That's why you train a lot in the gym, If I think he's not kind of like he's not in my level or things like that, maybe I'm not put a lot of work in the gym, And I think that mindset make a great fighters, and that's my mindset. He's young, he's hungry. He don't make a lot of wars like I did before, and I think he's look fresh, and this can help him. I put a lot of things to make my opponents bigger than me, and then when I go to the octagon, I try to beat the guy.
Alexandre, bom dia. Você já defendeu o seu título 4 vezes. Quais foram os sacrifícios personais que precisavam fazer para manter no topo? E que mensagem você deixa para os jovens que sonham em chegar a seu nível?
Em português?
Yeah.
Depois de defender o título 4 vezes, eu tenho treinado ainda mais. Eu não saio de casa para fazer qualquer coisa. Eu procuro estar muito concentrado. Eu acho que eu aprendi muito. Eu virei um atleta muito melhor depois que eu conquistei o cinturão. Eu acho que o sacrifício maior é sobre isso. Não é sobre o que eu tenho feito, mas o que eu tenho deixado de fazer também. Eu tenho deixado de curtir muitos momentos com a minha família, de estar em lugares com meus filhos, para estar focado 100%. Eu tô com 35 anos agora, eu não tenho tempo nenhum para perder. Eu quero aproveitar muito o tempo que eu tenho agora. Eu me sinto no topo da minha carreira. Então eu acho que tudo isso tem me ajudado a ser um lutador melhor. Eu entender que eu não tenho tempo para perder, que eu tenho que ser um atleta melhor, que eu tenho que cuidar mais da minha dieta, que eu tenho que cuidar bem do meu sono, que eu tenho que cuidar bem do meu corpo. Eu acho que tudo isso tem me ajudado a ser um lutador melhor. Isso eu vejo na academia, eu tenho treinado melhor e eu acho que isso vai se refletir dentro do octógono. Eu acho que essa é a mensagem, né? Eu acho que tanto você um pouco mais velho ou mais novo, você tem que entender que o tempo agora conta muito. Então, tudo que você está fazendo agora vai refletir no futuro. Eu tenho dedicado muito do meu tempo, da minha vida, para ser um lutador melhor. E eu acho que esse é o melhor conselho que eu posso dar.
Se você defender o cinturão mais uma vez, como você define o seu legado na divisão e o que te motiva mais, ser o melhor peso mosca da história ou dominar em quanto poder?
É isso que eu quero. Eu quero ser o melhor peso mosca da história, sem sombra de dúvida. Eu quero ser o melhor lutador do mundo. Eu quero o número 1 do pound for pound. É uma coisa que me motiva muito também. Eu acredito que se eu vencer no sábado, o que vai acontecer é que eu vou querer vencer de novo, né? Eu vou querer ir para a sexta defesa e, como eu falo, se eu vencer no sábado, no domingo eu já não sou mais campeão mundial. Eu vou querer a data e eu vou ter a data certa para saber quando que eu posso ser campeão mundial novamente.
Obrigada.
Obrigado.
Sandro, just one. O Flamengo é campeão da Libertadores, tetracampeão. Como foi para você como flamenguista?
Foi muito bom, cara. É muito inspirador ver o Flamengo vencendo e como vem vencendo. É muito importante para o Brasil ter um time tão representativo como o Flamengo é. Um time que joga para todas as classes, né? Não só as classes mais pobres, mas todas as classes do Brasil. E o que eu gosto de ressaltar do Flamengo sempre é que o Flamengo primeiro cuidou da casa, né? Ele pagou as contas que devia e aí ele conseguiu estruturar bem o time. Eu acho que isso se reflete muito em qualquer posição na sua vida, né? Seja um time de MMA, seja qualquer outra coisa. Eu acho que você tem que cuidar primeiro do financeiro, fazer as coisas saudáveis e aí você depois consegue usufruir disso tudo. Thank you. No? One more?
Yeah. All right. What's your plan against Joshua Vance's very accurate and rapid punches?
Sorry?
Joshua Vance, he has record, in accurate punches and very accurate and very rapid. So do you have any plans for that?
My plans is secrets. But everybody know my style fight. When the fight start, I try to complete domination my opponent. That's what I try to do. My first fight to right now, and what I think is like I have a great opportunity Saturday night to face off one of the best fights of the world. That's what I want.
Okay, so does that mean you prepare different for Joshua Vance than other fighters before?
Of course, we know what the best skills Joshua Vance have. Everybody know about his boxing. Everybody know about his takedown defense. And that's a very good combo, And I know that, and then you can figure out what I try to do. But that's some position, Joshua. I see Joshua will talk about that. He don't have a game plan. When he go to the octagon, things happen. I share the same mindset, You can think a lot of things, but when, like Mike Tyson say, when you get the punch in the face, everything change. And I don't like put in my head a lot of game plans. I like to go there, feel the fight, and try to finish my opponent.
Okay. Last question. You mentioned Merab earlier. Will you ever consider going up, before you get older, will you ever consider going up 135 and challenge Merab or something?
Maybe when Merab retire, I try to go another bout, but Merab is too good, But I have a lot of respect for him. Me and my team talking about that, but we need a lot of time to to understand that, change my body to 135. Everybody watches Ellie Young when fight Valentina Shevchenko is complete different, when the size difference.
Right.
And when you talk about the flyweight, bantamweight divisions, 10 pounds, a lot of difference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Boom.
Well, Brandon, right here, front, right here. So, man, I guess how's camp been? How's life been since the last time we saw you and ahead of this, the last big
Because it's an opportunity where I know getting the victory. I mean, at least for me, in my mind, it's gonna be undeniable to get the title next. So right now, I have to be super focused on Tatsuro, but my motivation, my attitude, my mindset is super good right now.
A lot of fans and media have kind of labeled Tyra as a future contender, like very early on in his career. So I guess when did he actually get on your radar?
I mean, and he's there, right? Like, he's been doing an amazing job since he arrived to the UFC. Obviously, he got a little problem with Royval, but then in his comeback, he looks amazing in his last performance. I don't have any specific moment when I start to see him like a possible opponent in the future. I don't remember the specific moment, but I just remember his performances and saying like, oh, this guy looks super tough, looks like super clean with the hands, amazing grappling, and we are right, like getting an opportunity for the title.
He was in here and I asked him this because a lot of fans also say your wins over Urseg and Albazi you've never looked better. Those are the most impressive wins of your career. So I guess he agreed. And I guess what's been different over the last couple fights that kind of have shown like this is the best Brandon Moreno we've seen?
Man, it's crazy. And I feel like I just find a new motivation in life, I was talking in other interviews before, like I was this close to retire when I fought against Brandon Royval, but after a time off with my family, with my wife, with my close circle, with my loved ones, I find I really love this sport. Mixed martial arts is amazing. I really love to throw punches with other fighter in the middle of the octagon with thousands of people. So that feeling is super good, and that's it. Right now, I feel amazing. I feel incredible. The people see it against Amir Albazi. The people see it against Steve Ursig. And right now, I feel like on my prime. I'm still young, but I have a lot of experience, and that's it.
He remembered a time that you and his coach got along because you both like Pokemon cards. Do you remember that time?
For sure. No, I mean, brother, it's crazy. Like, I was talking with media in Japan right now, and they asked me something about Pokemon cards. Like, hey, I love the culture. I love Japan. I love the anime. I love the food. And yeah, actually, they gave me a lot of good vibes before. Actually, they sent me Pokemon cards a year ago or something like that. But yeah, they've been super amazing. But this is part of the job, right? This is part of the journey. At the end, I know, like, winning or losing, we're gonna check hands and whatever. But man, I'm excited for this fight.
And you had mentioned earlier that, a win over Tetsura, title shot next. He seems to think he has to finish you, be the first one to finish you because Kyoji had such an impressive performance too. Do you agree that you have to have this big, impressive performance to kind of leapfrog him? Because Pantoja is already kind of talking about Kyoji as a possible next opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel I had to put an amazing performance this weekend. It's a lot of different things I can't really control. I know Kyoji did an amazing job in his last performance. Manel Cap is gonna fight next week, and maybe with a good performance, he's gonna be again in the conversation. Tatsuro is obviously right there. If he beat me, he can get the opportunity. I mean, the only thing I can really control right now is make an amazing statement this Saturday. Put my name super clear on the table for the UFC, and that's it. Enjoy with my family and wait for the next year.
And then last one for me, unrelated to your fight, but did you see that story of Connor going to Tijuana to go?
Man, that was insane. I saw that new in Instagram, and so, for example, if the people doesn't know, like in that area of Mexico exists a lot of how you say in English, like shamans?
Shaman?
Shaman. A lot of. So I don't know if maybe you know guys like what specifically he did, but there in Mexico there's a lot of shamans, a lot of rituals, a lot of like pre-Hispanic rituals they do for the spirits. I don't know if he did something like that or he did something religious, but welcome to Tijuana. Enjoy it. Hopefully he can enjoy some amazing tacos there because the best ones in the country, and that's it.
Apparently, it was like some ayahuasca type.
Yeah,
It's like-
yeah, a lot of shamans of that there in that part of Mexico. Let's go.
Brandon, por acá. En español, bueno, hablando de Tatsuro, ahora es bastante técnico, bastante explosivo. ¿Qué faceta consideras tú que es más peligrosa de él y cómo planeas tú contrarrestarla?
Pues mira, obviamente ahorita hablo de la parte técnica, es muy buen grappling, manos decentes, manos buenas, buen striking. Pero creo que el superpoder que tiene ahorita, y lo veo también, por ejemplo, con peleadores como Van, o sea, esos peleadores jóvenes, la nueva sangre de la división, es que, o sea, sí, o sea, son jóvenes, no les importa, son valientes, van hacia enfrente, saben que tienen el tiempo de su lado, o sea, entonces Tatsuro está muy motivado, está fuerte, es valiente, ¿no? Lo vi en su pelea en contra de Brandon Royval, como, o sea, respondía como podía, a veces, y más que nada lo hacía con el grappling, por ahí si tenía que tirar golpes, los tiraba, pero, digo, el tipo es valiente, quiere realmente llevarse la victoria, y eso lo hace peligroso, obviamente, ¿qué te puedo decir? Creo que mi carrera, creo que mis peleas hablan por mí mismo, o sea, no me da miedo intercambiar golpes con un ser humano, no me da miedo ir al suelo con quien sea, entonces estoy listo.
Muy bien, y mencionas algo importante que es esas dos facetas de tu carrera y cómo vemos ahora un Brandon mucho más maduro después de cuando estuviste a punto de decirle adiós a las de MMA. ¿Qué ha cambiado en tu motivación ahora?
Pues lo mencionaba ahorita un poquito en inglés, ¿no? O sea, pasé por momentos duros mentalmente, en el sentido de que te llegan estas vocecitas en la cabeza que dices, y ya no sé si sigo teniendo lo necesario para seguir compitiendo en alto nivel, tanto física, tanto mental. Pero digo, me tomo un tiempito, estoy con mi familia, estoy con mis hijas, con mi esposa, y eso me ayuda a nada más a recordar, o sea, solamente recordar que amo el deporte, que me encanta estar aquí enfrente de miles de personas peleando y que es un sentimiento increíble que yo quisiera que de una u otra manera las personas tuvieran la oportunidad de sentir. Me siento privilegiado en ese aspecto. Entonces, pues nada, eso me devolvió el amor por el deporte.
Y también mencionas sobre el grappling o lo que puede presentar Tatsuro. En tu campamento tú has sido parte Cristian Rivas, el ecuatoriano, mucha gente de Ecuador viendo pendiente de esto. ¿Cómo ha sido él, en qué ha sumado en tu entrenamiento para esta pelea?
Mira, Cristian es una persona que conozco ya desde 2022, si no me equivoco, que se sumó a mi equipo oficialmente, y la verdad es que yo lo amo ese cabrón. es una persona bien buena onda, la verdad es que mi familia lo quiere mucho, siempre aporta muchísimo, porque aparte de la energía, técnicamente es buenísimo, es muy muy bueno, y ya poco a poco creo que pues, está mereciendo la oportunidad para entrar a las grandes ligas, para entrar a la UFC. Esperemos que 2026 sea su año y que se le dé muy buena lucha. Eso es lo que, por ejemplo, de la parte técnica, hablando técnicamente, me ha aportado mucho en la defensa de derribo, a los scrambles, a la pelea de posición, eso es lo que me ha ayudado muchísimo. Y fíjate que, o sea, ha mejorado muchísimo en el UFC Performance Institute de la Ciudad de México, ha evolucionado mucho porque antes yo lo consideraba un peleador fuerte, pero hasta ahí, ¿sí me entiendes? Pero ahora mezcla muy bien la increíble técnica que tiene con su fuerza y eso lo hace muy peligroso. Entonces esperemos que 2026 le vaya muy bien.
La última de mi parte, bueno, si terminas levantando la mano al final del combate, no hay mucho daño, ¿te llama la atención ser parte de la cartelera de México para febrero?
Pues mira, todo depende. Al final del día yo ahorita tengo mis metas bien claras y pues creo que no debería de ser una sorpresa para nadie. O sea, yo quiero ser campeón, ¿sí me entiendes? Y de ganar este sábado, que sé que va a pasar, yo voy por el campeonato. O sea, si me dicen, vas por el campeonato en febrero, yo lo hago. Pero yo sinceramente más que nada estoy buscando ya pelear por el título. Entonces, pues nada, vamos a ver cómo se acomodan las cosas.
Gracias, Brandon.
Gracias.
Brandon, aquí, ¿cómo estás? Gusto saludarte.
Gusto, hermano.
Brandon, en una conferencia, bueno, una de las conferencias de prensa de México dijiste que no había que dudar de ti porque eres un loco, que estás loco. ¿Qué nivel de locura traes este fin de semana?
El otro tipo que pelea está loco. Yo soy una persona muy normal, una persona muy amable, pero el Brandon que se sube a pelear, ese cabrón sí, mil respetos, yo no sé qué es lo que está pensando. Pues mira, es que vengo muy motivado, hermano. Vengo muy listo, vengo muy motivado. He estado haciendo las cosas muy bien. No he salido del gimnasio. Y específicamente este año, porque yo peleo en marzo y luego me dijeron que había posibilidad de pelear en junio. Me mantuve preparándome para junio. No se dio, pero luego me dijeron que había una posibilidad de pelear en septiembre, en noche UFC. Entonces me estuve preparando para eso. Tampoco se dio. Terminó siendo hasta este diciembre. Entonces, este año me preparé muchísimo. Es muy loco ver cómo, a pesar de que ya tengo mucho tiempo en el deporte, sigo aprendiendo cosas nuevas y este año me ayudó muchísimo para seguir desarrollando técnicas. Entonces, pues nada, Brandon Moreno viene listo para lo que es este 6 de diciembre.
Brandon, tu retiro no fue tan extenso del deporte, pero otras personas sí, como Amanda Nunes, como Cejudo, ¿cómo crees o por qué crees que afecta tanto el retirarte y luego regresar a la actividad?
Bueno, yo me acuerdo que hago un anuncio, pero yo fui muy claro en mi anuncio, nunca fue un retiro real. Yo lo dejé muy claro, yo les comenté que iba a ser solamente un tiempo libre para replantear mi vida, para replantear mi cabeza y estar con mi familia un poquito. Y es muy loco, ¿no? Porque, por ejemplo, ese tiempo fueron creo que 9, 10 meses. Y luego regreso. Esta vez peleé en marzo y ahora voy a volver hasta diciembre, va a ser un poquito más de tiempo afuera. La única diferencia es que esta vez sí fue solamente entrenando y estando en el gimnasio preparándome para lo que fuera. Entonces, no lo sé, a mí en lo personal, no sé Amanda Nunes, no sé a Henry, no sé otros peleadores, pero a mí ese tiempo me cayó de maravilla, me cayó de perlas, me siento renovado por lo mismo, la gente lo puede ver, no ocupo hablar de más, la gente lo puede ver en mis presentaciones, creo que me vi muy bien en mis últimas peleas, entonces, pues nada, yo me siento increíble.
La última de mi parte, obviamente tienes un compromiso este fin de semana ante un peleador que no es Pantoja, en un hipotético triunfo tuyo y de Pantoja, volverte a enfrentar a él. La preparación física sabemos, táctica, pero mental a un tipo que te ha vencido en varias oportunidades. ¿Cómo trabajar eso?
Hermano, creo que me considero mentalmente muy fuerte. Sé de que Pantoja ha tenido las oportunidades para vencerme anteriormente. Pero hermano, yo me siento muy bien, me siento muy listo. Obviamente, ahorita me siento muy enfocado con Tatsuro, no estoy pensando en absolutamente nadie más. Vamos a ver qué pasa al final de la noche. Vamos a ver si Pantoja se queda como campeón, si Van da la sorpresa y captura el campeonato. Pero yo voy a estar listo para quien sea. Obviamente, con Pantoja va a haber un saborcito más dulce por tratar de vengar esas derrotas. Pero al final del día es el campeonato.
¿Por qué te complica tanto, Pantoja?
No lo sé, hermano. O sea, yo creo que, por ejemplo, específicamente en la última pelea fue un aspecto técnico que me encargué ya de corregir. Se encargaron mis coaches de corregirme al 100%, pero creo que estaba conectando muy, muy buenos golpes. Yo tengo un momento muy presente en el cuarto asalto donde le veo la cara y tiene una cara ya de que ya no podía más con su vida, porque estábamos intercambiando duro, ¿no? Y los dos estábamos cansados. Al final encuentra la manera de tomarme la espalda en el quinto y creo que eso me afectó muchísimo en el resultado. Entonces, pues bueno, creo que así se han dado las cosas. Ese ha sido el camino que me ha tocado tomar. Lo único que he podido controlar hasta el momento es tratar de corregir todas las cosas que he hecho mal.
Gracias.
Dale, man.
Bueno, aquí una rápida de mi parte. Siento que hemos visto más peleas de tu división en carteleras grandes como la de este fin de semana. ¿Tú también has sentido que la división peso mosca ha recibido más amor y apoyo en estos últimos años?
Pues mira, por lo menos creo que sí ha obtenido más protagonismo. De hecho, también inclusive ha tenido más eventos estelares, a lo mejor no tanto en eventos grandes, pero o sea, en el Apex, donde quizás no es la plataforma más grande, pero es una plataforma y han tenido de mostrarse. Entonces, nada más, me siento contento, me siento muy contento de que la UFC le esté dando actualmente más protagonismo a la división.
Brendan, one more in the front right here.
Let's
And
go.
I'm only asking this because it was brought up yesterday. Henry Cejudo did a scrum with us, and he said he's retiring, but the only way he would come back is if he got to fight you.
Okay.
Is that something you entertain, or I guess do you actually have an issue with Henry because he seems to very badly want to fight you?
Yeah, I mean, brother, I saw the interview. I thought that rivalry was dead, was super dead. But the guy is still thinking on me. That's crazy, brother. So right now I'm super focused. You know, in the past we had our bad blood, and right now I'm talking about myself. Like I'm just super focused to fight in the flyweight division, get the title back. I don't think he's gonna make that cut again. So that's it, man. I wish him all the best. I wish him all the success in his fight against Peyton Talbot, because Peyton is an incredible opponent, and that's it.
Would it be weird if you have to sit next to each other at the press conference? Because the way it's lined up now, you might have to.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say hi to him. Like I don't know. I don't know what is his real mentality against me. You know, because it's always the same. Like the people get cameras on his faces and in their faces, and everything changed. But I mean, to me, super clear. I'm gonna check his hands. Hello, he wanna check the hands with me. It's gonna be perfect. Let's go. Awesome, guys. Have a nice day. All right.
You guys good? Yeah. Oh, Grant right here. I feel like, I've seen a couple of your interviews and you've kind of said the same thing. We all know what Manuel wants to do. We all know what I'm going to do. He was in here and he said he was very much looking forward to fighting you, not for any bad reason, because he gets to show skills he hasn't had to show in there. So I guess what type of fight are you expecting from Manuel? Is it the go out and try to knock you out in the first round? Are you expecting something different? I guess what are you kind of expecting there?
Yeah, I think that he's going to try to knock me out in the first round. But if he doesn't try to knock me out in the first round, I guess we'll adapt. Everybody's got a game plan, and I think the best fighters are the guys that can adjust when things don't go according to that game plan. So we're prepared for everything. We've dealt with guys being super aggressive. We've dealt with guys, you know, kind of running away from me and trying to pick at me. So I'll be ready for whatever style he brings.
Do you think we've actually seen everything he can bring in there? Because he was very adamant, like fans and fighters have not seen everything I'm capable of.
Probably not. I mean, I think you can watch every single one of his UFC fights in about 12 minutes. So I'm sure he's got some very good tricks. I've got 11 fights, no more than that, 13 fights in the UFC. And I think that there's still tricks that I haven't had to pull out of my back pocket, you know. I'm ready for whatever he brings. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's a very, very stiff challenge for me. You know, I do think that he's probably one of the most dangerous guys in our division, if not Terrence McKinney might be a little bit more dangerous, but he's very, very dangerous, and I'm ready for it, you know.
I also saw an interview where you said the key is no brawling, I think is what you said. Is it that clear cut and dry, like don't play his game, I can pull this out? Or I guess what do you see as like the best route to win against Manuel Torres?
Yeah, I mean, I have striking. I know people don't think I do, but I can strike. I just haven't had to at this point. I think being super sharp and super safe is going to be the key to victory. Obviously, I'd love to get the tape, bring other weapons out.
I think some people, fans liked this fight, but I think they were surprised at the matchmaking, considering you've had in events, you've been in, like you said, like 13 fights. Maybe they thought maybe a higher ranked guy. And then I saw an interview who said you probably are going to struggle fighting up in the ranking. So I guess why do you feel that way?
I mean, I know exactly why it is. I did this one day just because I was petty, and I looked at how many Instagram followers I have and how many Instagram every single fighter in the top 15 has, and every single one of them individually could lose 100,000 followers and still have more followers than me. So I totally get it. I'm a tough fight, and it's very high risk, low reward. So I totally get it. But I've tried playing the bad guy. I've tried being funny. I did the quarter off my wife's dump truck thing. I thought that was going to go super viral. I'm just going to be me, man, and fight everybody they put in front of me. And hopefully, I think what's going to end up happening is somebody ahead of me is going to need a short notice guy, and I'm going to be the guy to raise my hand.
When have you tried to be the bad guy?
When I fought Ricky Glenn, and then I went to a draw with him. So I was like, all right, no more of that.
And I guess just last one for me. I've been asking the lightweights about this. Like, what do you make of the interim title fight they just announced? I think the issue most fighters and fans would have is Arman not being involved in that fight.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with decisions that the UFC makes. They took a sport that was considered cockfighting and turned it into a multi-billion-dollar organization and a real sport that people want to tune in and watch. If they think it's best, then it's best. I would have honestly liked to have seen Arman versus Max for the interim belt. I thought that would have been a way more fun fight, way more exciting fight. But, you know, the UFC knows best. They're going to put butts in seats, and that's all that matters.
Grant, is your wife fighting on Friday?
I was wondering when somebody was going to ask me about that. Yes, she is fighting literally the day before me, and nobody has asked me about that yet. That's crazy.
Well, until now.
Until now.
So
what do you want to know?
Is that being like tricky? Is that going to be tough for you to keep your focus? All these things.
Oh yeah, terrible. I hate it. I hate not being around my wife. I love bringing her to fight week, and she's not here. She's going to fight, and she's the main event of the show that she's fighting. So she's going to fight and then get on a plane at 5 a.m. and then it's definitely an experience.
Who was booked first?
She was booked first. If I was booked first, she wouldn't have taken the fight. But she had a 3-year layoff due to injuries and then not being able to find a fight. And I think that she's ready to retire. We're planning on having a baby after, like, probably Saturday night. Yeah, so this is the last one for her. And she finally, she called our old manager and begged him for a fight. And he overpaid the person that is taking the fight with her. So we were like, look, I have to fight because we need to make money if we're going to have a baby. And you got to fight so that you can get this out of your system and then be a mom. So it'll all work out. I'm a grown-ass man. I can deal without my mommy for a little bit.
Is it streaming somewhere where you can?
So they used to stream on Fight Pass. I think it's I can't. I'm a horrible husband. I can't remember. Spectation Sports. I think it's streaming on Spectation Sports, I believe. Don't quote me on that.
I got one. Grant, I was talking to Chris Duncan yesterday, and he said as soon as his fight's done, he's going to be coming out, like probably standing in the tunnel watching your fight. And he said, like, you're a guy that he's kind of going to put his foot down, and like if they ever offer that fight, he's never going to take it. Is that like a mutual feeling between you guys?
Yes, but I think for different reasons. I think Chris won't take the fight because we're really good friends, and I won't take the fight because I don't think I can beat Chris in a fight.
I think he said the only way would be for gold. Would be the only time.
Obviously, look, if Chris calls me up and he says they're offering us the interim belt, like this money will change my life, it'll change your life, we both want to be champion, I'm asking you to take this fight for me, I would take the fight. I'll take an L. Like, it's fine.
Is a fight with Michael Chandler one you still want?
Oh yeah, of course. Who doesn't want to fight the guy that's 2-5 in the UFC? Of course. I would love to fight Michael Chandler. I absolutely have dreamed about fighting Michael Chandler. But like I referred to earlier, I don't have enough Instagram followers for him to actually accept a fight with me. So I think I'm gonna call all these guys out. I would imagine, assuming everything goes well on Saturday, my next fight is also outside the top 15. And I'm okay with that. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Saturday in Octagon. I like to do it. I love to do it. So, and one more time, have some fun.
You were already in the UFC for quite a while when Bogdan even started his MMA career as a whole. So I guess when did he actually get on your radar as a potential opponent, or did you not know much about him before they offered him to you?
I start check him when they offer him. Yes, I don't watch his fight before that, but now I know almost everything about him.
So what do you make of his skill set after rewatching him?
Yeah, very powerful guy, young young blood with the good striking skills. So I have to be focus all the time, hands up. But I like this style, and I think his style and my style is gonna be good fight for watch. So, and I'm not gonna, and that's why I like this fight also.
And how frustrating has the last few years been? Because you've had the injuries, but you've also had very close fights that a lot of people, including yourself, think probably won.
Yeah, but this is the injuries this is the past. That I'm happy. Everything is good now, and now I cannot leave decision for referees. I need to finish fight before time, and this is what I'm gonna to do.
And then just last one for me. Can I get your thoughts just on the division as a whole? Alex got the belt back. Yuri won. Alberg is, still doing the thing. So what do you make of the top of the division right now?
Me? Yes. We will see after the fight. And now I'm number 5, and that's it. Easy. Thank you for questions.
The king is ready.
That's good.
Oh, you guys can smile, Jesus.
Well, Henry, I guess this is the last time.
No, the former king.
Well, Henry, this is going to be the last time we'll really get to talk to you in a setting like this. So I know we talked to you yesterday, but now that fight week has begun, are you kind of taking a little bit of it in? Like, this is the last time I'm going to have to do partner, the last time I have to do media day. Has any of that kind of set in to you?
I guess it's more of what I talked about yesterday, just more of that gratitude, more of the people that fly, even you guys, even the fact that you guys take time out of your busy schedule. A lot of you guys are probably fathers, and is there a woman? No, mothers maybe, or whatever that may be. Just the time that you guys keep, the time that you guys give back to the sport, it means a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so even with you guys, man. So I think it's been more of just that gratitude side, like knowing that your coaches leave for, a week at a time to go watch you perform, training partners from different parts of the world, like what they do. I think it's more of that. So I if anything, I guess I appreciate it. You know, whether you guys take whatever I say and spin it or do whatever, I appreciate all of it.
We never do that. Never. How would you compare this kind of retirement runs? You know, the Olympic one, and then your last one in the UFC.
Yeah, I think, and I was talking to Daniel about this. Like, I'm not that type of guy. Like, what I've learned about me is I'm an ultimate competitor, but even more so than a competitor, I like to conquer. Like, I'm a conqueror. Like, I'm able to just move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I conquer it, I move on. Like, I do that. I did that with wrestling. Never really missed it, even though it was like my first love. And then I did it with combat sports, and I knew that once I defended that second belt, I was like, all right, man, it's time for me to leave on top. You know, so that's kind of how it is, man. That's what I've learned about me is I can move on, bro. So I don't think I'm your typical guy to maybe ask some of these questions, dude.
Peyton was in here, and he said that when he was watching your fight against Song, he thought maybe you would retire after that one. And then after the eye poke, he was really disappointed because he thought you should go out on a win. And now he has to stand in the way of that. So what do you make of his attitude towards this fight?
Yeah. He's pretty, you know, I had Payne to come out and which says a lot about him, dude. Like he came out to legit learn from me, you know, for a few days. We had a chance to kind of like, and we talked about techniques, watch video, talk about the theatrics. I've always told Payne, like, you know, he shouldn't. I was like, I want you to take over the king of cringe, dude. You know, so you got the hair, you got that dot, and your front and back. And he's like, just go straight, NWA. But obviously, everybody has their own style. But that could have been. And the fact that the fight ended the way it ended, like, I had even contemplated just calling it quits, but I didn't want to end it like that. Like I want to end it with the fair shake. Me first of all having an even playing field, and just fighting.
He was in here and he said that there's nothing you've done that he felt cringe over because it's very hard to make him feel cringe, except he's very confused by your relationship with Moneyberg, and he said stay away from that guy. So I guess he's.
Nah, I think dude, Derek Moneyberg's a good dude, man. If you talk to Randy Couture and to a lot of these people that know him, because he also gives me a lot of business advice. Like, dude, if you're making that type of money in stocks, bro, like, numbers don't lie. Call him what you want to call him. The dude works. You know, Jake Shields is his jiu-jitsu coach. But what I could say whenever we do go out and train, because he's a good friend of mine. I consider Derek a good friend, man. Like he's legit when it, you know, giving advice and things like that. You know, the black belt stuff that you guys may want to talk about, like that's between him and Jake Shields. You know, that's between him and his personal coach, and that's between them.
And I have to.
But I personally think Payne would actually like D Money. Sure. You know, you got to give everybody a shot, Payne.
And then I have to ask, because you brought it up yesterday too. Brandon Moreno was just in here, and he said he saw that interview we did yesterday, and he was a little confused because he thought that rivalry was in the past. And if he saw you, he would, you know, shake your hand and wish you well moving forward. So is that someone that you still want to fight?
Yeah, and he's probably right. I was probably just in on one yesterday, you know, and maybe we'll shake hands. I think we're linking up, I think, tomorrow. So I think we can talk, man. I don't think we really had a chance to really sit down and actually, you know, maybe the day will come. But the way that I took it, I've always thought that rivalry, that fight would have been great. You know, he denied me a couple of times. Even before I was champion, when everything happened between us, I wanted to fight him. The UFC was trying to make that fight between him. They're trying to make the fight between me and Brandon, but he chose Sergio Perez in Mexico City. You know, and I went up to him personally at the UFC retreat at that time. I was like, "Hey, man, let's fight." As a big brother, that's kind of how I felt to him. I was like, "No. I think we ended in the most political way, and we fucking fight." You know what I'm saying? Because I was still a bit heated, but no, it's gone, bro. He's probably right. Dude, I'm dehydrated, bro. I'm hungry. Yeah. You know, I'm over it. Maybe we'll. Sorry, Brandon.
And then just last one for me. A lot of other athletes that, you know, they announce their retirement and then they do retire. They say they want to leave the sport in a better place than it was when they entered. Do you feel that you've left the sport or made changes to the sport and it's in a better place than when you started?
Oh, of course. I mean, who saved an entire division from extinction? I mean, even if you think of that, like, you know, thanks to the Triple C, thanks to the gimmick, the persona, the sport, the weight class was able to elevate. And I think that's one of the things that I'm probably the most proud of is legit going for it, despite the outcome. Like there's no ego, there's no pride. Like whatever the outcome was, I gave what I had, and I to the highest levels, whether in the promoting aspect of it, and also the fighting aspect of it.
Henry, just want to know kind of like your mindset and just like the emotions. Like you're so used to winning, you've won everything, and then you leave the sport in the middle of your prime. You come back and you haven't won since you've come back, right? So how has that like affected you?
That's probably why I'm retiring. But not really. I think somebody brought it up to me. He's like, I came back, 3-year layoff. I lost to Aljamain Sterling, split decision, which I don't know how the hell I lost that 5th. I really fucking don't, man. Like Derek Cleary, dude, I hope he ain't a judge, dude. Jesus, man. And then obviously I lost to the current champ, who is Merab, but look what he's doing. I'm not fucking. At least I won a round from him, and I fought him with the torn groin, and then I get poked in the eye. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think the diehards, people that really do know everything, like understand my position. But at the same time, there's so much to this decision of why this is the last. I mean, there's just a lot. I can't serve 2 masters. You know, I'm in real estate, the content business. And I do a pretty good job with all that. And, you know, the Triple C before was just dedicated, had no kids, you know, single, young, wild, and anyways, you know, doing my thing where it was just dedicated 100% to the sport. And, you know, if I can't be the best in the world, then to me, then why do it?
And obviously you're fighting because you want to go out on a win, right? So like, say you lose a split decision to Peyton Talbot, like, is that going to hit the ego for you to be like, dude, I have to win before I hang it up?
No, the only thing that you can guarantee is your all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it sounds very cliche, like these little baseball coaches that say, hey, you know, it doesn't matter as long as you give it your all. And that's it. As long as you give it your all. I know what I'm up against. I know Peyton's rule recognizes rule. I saw talent in that dude, you know, and but it's also there's that competitive spirit in me that's all right, man. Give me the biggest challenge, give me the toughest challenge, give me whoever the hell you want. Like I love to compete, especially for my last one, throwing out the kitchen sink.
Speaking of seeing talent, how is it having Daniel Zahuber over in Arizona with you guys?
Oh, it's great, man. And that's one of the biggest things that I like to do is. I guess the biggest influence that I do have is having the ability to give back to these fighters. So even part of like my retirement, what I do want to do is I want to educate a lot of these legends, particularly the legends. I'll never forget it, winning the Olympic Games, and my coach, who was an Olympic champion as well, he says, Henry, welcome to the Olympic Championship Club. Kevin Jackson, who actually fought in the UFC as well. And he's like, your job now is to take care of other Olympic champions. So I almost feel like that's my duty, teaching them sales, teaching them marketing, branding, following up with people. You know what I'm saying? Like not be so, hey, give me this and I'll give you this. Like actually building a relationship. So I've been able to do that, and I feel comfortable, man. Like I just purchased a $1.3 million lot, just a lot to build my dream home. So I've been able to really, you know, so forget whatever Sean O'Methley says, you know. I've been able to make a really good living, to make really good decisions, but I think now it's time to pay it forward. And not just that, we talked about it a little bit yesterday on, you know, the eye pokes, like going through that. Like, and I did say, and I think Dana and everybody needs to step up. You know, we need the president to really put a meeting together and see what could be done, like as soon as possible, ASAP. That way nobody loses an eye, you know? So a lot of things like that, man.
One last one for me is, what are your thoughts on this real American freestyle thing that's going on? And are you gonna get back on the mats?
I love it. I love it. I don't want to be asked when my next fucking. I'm going to say goodbye. You're asking me, but I love it. What real American freestyle is doing, the opportunity that they're giving to all these wrestlers, is amazing. What Chad and Izzy Martinez are doing, it's awesome, bro. Did you watch the last show? Spencer Lee, Olympic silver medalist, gets upset. You know, you saw Jordan Oliver beat, you know, the current world team member. Like, bro, anything could happen, man. Like, you think there's levels until people are being put in the spot and people are eating popcorn and drinking and whatnot. That it changes the whole atmosphere. So I love it. You are Romero versus Bo Nickel.
Who wins that?
I just wanted to do that, but I think Bo Nickel.
And are you?
I like Yoel, man. Yoel was one of my heroes, man, growing up. But dude, with the youth, I don't know, man. I wouldn't count out Yoel because, man, he's an athlete. He's a specimen, dude.
Henry, you mentioned you've made a lot of good decisions, especially with money and things like that. When people are going to talk about your career and look back and maybe point out questionable decisions.
I thought you were going to say Moneybird. You said money?
No. But, you know, why the decisions maybe people will see as questionable is the timing of your first retirement. Now that you look back and, you know, that's going to be a big discussion point around your career. Do you have regrets for that moment? Do you think it was, you know, something that was done at the wrong time? How do you look back at that and how it impacted everything?
Every fighter wants to leave on top. Look at John Jones. He got offered $30 million. And I remember I talked to him for like a good 40 minutes, like right before he was kind of making his decision. Like, we're legit on the phone. I'm like, John, and one of the things that I did tell him was like, John, if I could tell you something, bro, if you're happy and you don't necessarily need the money, stay on top. Like, there's no need. Why? You lose one fight for people to troll you. Like, leave on top, man. There's something special about it. For that, even if it's $30 million. So we're legit. We're talking. I was like, John, you can make so much more money out of the game if you play your cards right. And I told him, like, link up with Shaquille O'Neal. Talk to him. Let him mentor you. Like how Shaquille O'Neal was able to use his likeness to get equity from these different businesses and actually make money. To where he's made more money, you know, in business that he did it than the actual basketball court. So these are some of the things that I'm kind of talking about. And obviously I'm not at that scale just yet, but that's where I would like to take it with a lot of these athletes, and particularly the ones that are lost a little bit. Like you talk about Zell Huber, like, yeah, man, just one conversation, come out, do the whole thing. He's like, damn, Henry, you're right. Like, I'm moving here. Like, I'm officially making that permanent move. So to me, it's freaking cool.
So I guess why did you come back then if you felt like you were leaving on top at that point?
Family. A legacy, a family over legacy, man. Like, I want my kids to be able to have just a better life than I did. I didn't need to, too, because I was making money, really good money, but I'm just, you know, this is the fastest way to make it. And if my goal is this now, then this is what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? So it all goes back to, what can I do for my kids and how can they be better? You know, and protect. You know, it's so that's what it was, quite honestly. So if you ask me, what do you regret? Probably maybe coming back. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a specialness to it. Like even in wrestling, like I regretted coming back because I knew that I gave everything that I had in the sport so much that I legit started to hate it. You imagine being at the Olympic Games and you're like, dude, this is it. What if I don't win? You know what I'm saying? Like all these things are kind of running into your mind, and then you win, you're like, all right, goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Like goodbye. And I meant that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I go back to what I was saying earlier, is being a conqueror. You know what I'm saying? Like to a lot of people, oh, he still has it. Like Captain Eric's trying to get me to fight 10 more times. But he's not in me. He doesn't understand that because I still have that ability. But to me, it's, you know, there's a time and place. And plus I got 2 kids too, that I don't want to put that fear in them, like knowing that their dad is fighting. You know what I'm saying? That when I was a little kid, I remember that I didn't live in like the best neighborhoods. It's probably the worst neighborhood. But I remember seeing like these gang members fight. Like I was maybe about 8, 7, 8, 9. I didn't want to leave, but I remember that my heart pumping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. I don't want that for my kids, particularly right now.
Yeah, and that all seems very sincere, and I believe this is your intention. But you know how the fans in this sport work. You say your statements yesterday, and all the comments are like, "He said this before. It's not actually true. Like he's going to come back." What would you say to the doubter?
I think Dana would cut me, dude, after this. so this is real.
Henry, just one kind of relating back to you, mentoring guys and like helping them out to be better, you know, with their career and money wise. Raul Rosas Jr. was recently on a podcast and he admitted that he spent 20 grand in, I think, 2 weeks. What would you think about when you hear something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I hope he learned his lesson. You know, you're not rich with 20 G's, but you got to make those right decisions, man. Like, you know, you have to, because time flies, man. Those watches, all that other stuff, them cars, like you just got to think of the future. And I think because I was raised so humble, like I was a kid, man, that went home starving. Like I'm one of 7 kids, man, raised by a single mother. And on top of that, at one point we lived with like Cuban refugees. Like, bro, no furniture, no food, like the whole 9. Like I understood the true meaning of what it's like to survive, you know? So when I see stuff like that, I just don't feel like they lived through it to really understand it. So I think it's something more that's engraved in me that I just can't answer that. But he's gotta be careful. And plus he's young though. He's what is he, 20? Go ahead. I mean, he's got time to kind of spoil and mess around if he wants to. There's gonna come a point where he's gonna have to really start buying land. You know, start doing other things to build passive income.
I was just wondering, have you thought ahead to when you're, you know, sitting on a porch as an old man talking to your grandkids? Do you talk about your journey to Olympic gold or UFC gold first? Which story maybe you're more proud of?
The Olympics. Like, you guys will probably agree now. I mean, look at who's getting opportunities to fight for a belt. That stuff does not exist in the Olympics. You're in a 16-man bracket. You don't know who the hell you're going to wrestle until the next day when they put the brackets out. So if you're truly the best in the world, okay, show it. Sometimes I feel like that's not the case here. You know, and I'm very proud of becoming a 2-division champ, but doing something in the sport of wrestling, like I prefer being called an Olympic champ than a UFC champ, like 100%, because of what the sport has taught me, dude. It's not the actual, like, everything from just life, dude. The humbleness, like going overseas and losing to some dude that you don't even know, dude that's unheard of, but that's really good at wrestling.
Henry, right here, you mentioned your kids a couple times, and I wanted to ask, for daughter, probably no, but for your son Enzo, would you want him to compete in any sport, or you don't want him any close to any kind of sport?
To the death. No, that's gonna be them. That's gonna be on them. I'm not that crazy dad. But what I do like doing is I do like playing with my kids a lot to make them athletes. So you know what I'm saying? Like I do, like they don't know it, but I'm playing too. I'm dropping them. They're doing this. They're constantly getting up. Little do they know I'm trying to build athletes. But whatever they decide to, I would love for them to wrestle. That's something that I would like, but that's not up to me. I'm not hanging my hat on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but if they decide to one day, I have a little niche right now that's wrestling. That's fighting. And she's Genesis Cejudo. She is 1-0, man. She looks so good. She looked a lot better than me in my debut. So I guess the legacy continues.
Henry, congrats on the career. Obviously, you mentioned earlier, you know, giving back to legends and Olympic champions. But do you think we could expect to see you maybe put some work in with your brother Angel and the great things he's doing over at Valiant?
Yeah, my brother's one of the persons that I admire. My brother Angel more than anybody in this world, dude. I've always, even when I was a kid, man, I wanted to be more like him, dude. He was a guy that was always likable. I wasn't. Kind of like now. but just his precious heart, his patience to be able to give back to the sport and then create national champions. I mean, the majority of his kids are all going to Division One. I mean, shows how cerebral, how much of a genius that he is, and he's not like me, dude. Like he's get the camera away. I don't want nothing. Like you know what I'm saying? Jeans, shirt, like so. But yeah, of course, man. I have a nephew right now too, Pablito, Angel Jr. We call him Pablito. He won the toughest tournament in the United States, and it was so cool, man, to be able to see the plan that me and my brother had. Started wrestling him at 11. You know, within a few years, becomes the number one in the country because we did that. And I think sometimes coaches, they put their kids in the sport a little too soon, where they end up hating it, and that's where you got to be careful. You know, but we're able to do that. Have my nephew be around the sport. You don't compete till you're about 11, bro. And if you want to do it, and then once he said, I want to do it, it ended up happening. So it's pretty cool, man. Right now he's being recruited by Penn State too, like the biggest. You know, dude, I'm stoked, man. Whatever he decides to do, like we're gonna be there.
Henry, nomás una en español. Felicidades con el retiro. Una grande pelea el sábado. Y obviamente, lo hablaste un poco en inglés, nomás por favor en español.
Sí, creo que
Lo más orgulloso que estás en tu legado. Mencionaste ser campeón olímpico, más grande que ser campeón en el octágono. Y nomás unas palabras para despedir a tus fans.
Just basically in Spanish, this same concept. You mentioned that you were prouder to be an Olympic champion than being a UFC champion. Just echo the feeling in Spanish for everybody.
Yeah, primeramente, la razón por qué digo eso es por la razón de en las artes marciales mixtas, a veces les dan oportunidad a los que no se la merecen. Y yo creo que ustedes saben eso. Yo no quiero. It's my last fight anyway. I'm saying like, so I can tell the truth. There's a lot of people undeserving that get titles. Hay mucha gente que no se merece ese título mundial, especialmente para competir. En las Olimpiadas hay 16 luchadores que entran, los mejores del mundo, que entran y tú no sabes con quién vas a luchar hasta el próximo día. So, para tú coronarte como el mejor del mundo en el deporte más viejo en la historia, para mí eso significa mucho más, mucho más. A mí me da más gracia cuando un luchador me viene y dice, hey, eres campeón olímpico. Para mí eso significa mucho más para mí que la UFC, porque yo desde niño chiquito, la verdad fue un sueño hacerme campeón olímpico. Y cuando lo logré, fue algo que ni se puede escribir en palabras.
Just to add on to what was said in English, he mentioned the fact that it is the oldest sport to date, and I'm very proud about that, and the fact that it was my dream since I was a little kid to be that, and you cannot describe it in words. That's what's added from the English previous answer.
¿Y mi español cómo está? ¿Está bien?
Fenomenal.
¿Tengo el acento?
Gracias por todo. Felicidades y suerte el sábado.
Sí, muchas gracias. Thank you guys so much. Triple C is out!
Goddamn uploading.
Terrence right here.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man? I feel like Chris was in here earlier, and I feel like your guys' history has been back a couple of years. I think you called him out first. You were booked. It didn't happen. There was a little back and forth on social media. So I guess how's it feel to, finally be a couple days away from getting to fight Chris?
Man, I'm so excited, man. And he's good at getting hit. So it's like, oh, man, I love that. So I'm excited to throw down and put on a show for you guys.
You said there's no bad blood between you two, but there will be bad blood on Saturday. Do you think that's the right approach to take?
Of course, man. He's trying to kill me. I'm trying to kill him. And it's going to be a fun one.
A couple fighters, especially online, they say, Terrence is like a car crash, like something's going to happen. So I guess, do you take pride in that, like even fighters and fans are like, all right, win or lose, something crazy is about to happen with Terrence McKinney?
Not this time. Terrence Magomedov's coming out. I'm looking to get a boring decision and wrestle this guy 15 minutes straight and get one step close to the rankings.
Yeah, right. And I guess, since your debut and you had that that 5-second knockout or 7-second knockout, whatever it was, the spotlight's been on you since then, essentially. So just how's life been, and like from that point on to now competing on like one of the bigger pay-per-views of the year?
It's the same. Like sometimes, like I be wanting to tear up just to see how far God brought me. I'm like every day, like I'm truly like grateful for like every opportunity, just being in this room. Like once I feel like I'm getting one step closer to where I want to be, and like I said, I want to headline an event one day, and I feel like this is the next step, and I'm excited to show my growth this weekend.
There's a lot of lightweight fights happening. There's the other one with Grant Dawson on this card. They had the big interim fight coming up in January. So I guess, what do you make of the state of the division you're in right now?
It's kind of sad because like a lot of my favorite fighters are getting old. But it's time for the new generation, and I think we're gonna do a good job replacing them.
Well, I was going to ask that. Like the top of the division seems closer to retirement outside of Armin, and there's this big recently surge of this youth movement, especially 155 pounds. Do you think you're kind of leading that since you kind of kickstarted it with that knockout?
I think I'm 100% in the mix, and we're going to prove that this Saturday.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Terrence, right here in front of you. I had Eddie Alvarez on my podcast the other day, and we were talking about some of the lightweight fights on this card, and he was very praising of you. He said he feels you have UFC champion potential, and you just need to kind of put it all together. I guess, what do you make of that coming from one of the greatest lightweights in MMA history?
That's a huge honor, and first time hearing that, so that's super sick. Thank you, Eddie. And I feel the same way. We just gotta, put it all together, like he says. Push the cardio, and that's why I moved to Florida at Fusion XL. And I think we really get to see Terrence with IQ this time. And it might not look painted because I know I can still get him done in the first round, but yeah, we pushed the cardio. I'm training with Mike Davis, just a lot of beasts. So like I know what the resistance is gonna feel like, and I'm comfortable with it now.
Terrence, when you talk about like Fusion XL and leveling up in your career and things like that, is there any part of you that regrets the way it went early on in the career, or do you think it was all a part of the process getting to this point?
No, it was all part of the process because, I was a little goon back in the day, so I need a couple of them ass whoopings to humble me and get me more focused. I feel like everything happened for a reason, and I wouldn't change any of that.
Is it Chris was talking about it a little bit yesterday. Is it true that like you messaged him and said, man, after his last fight, oh my God, I'm drawn up against Rebecca. You messaged him and you said, bro, I think you're probably above me now and this fight might be gone.
Yeah.
And he kind of messaged you back and was like, no, I'm still going to try and push for that. Was that how the
Yeah, we talked about that. I was like, yeah, because like Rebecca's tough. So I was like, I don't know if they're going to let us fight now, man. You doing your thing. Because we talked a few times. He donated $500 when my brother died, helped out his funeral. So he's a real good dude. But Saturday, like I said, T-Rex comes out, and he's a villain. So
And then what, like, when it comes to sparring at Fusion Excel, how intense does it get in there? Because I've seen, like, we saw the video of Poeton recently kind of sleeping a guy in sparring, and like, is there guys that come from other gyms to spar? Is it guys that are like not full time in there? Like, how intense does it get in those sparring sessions?
it just all depends who's sparring. Sometimes it get heated, just like any normal gym. But I feel like we regulate it pretty well. It's just Alex just hits different, man. There's some people get dropped, but we know when to take it off because we don't want to put our career in the gym. So.
Terrence, just one from me right here. What do you think the fans can expect from this version? You say Terrence with IQ compared to the first one we saw, that one.
You guys should expect the same thing, but if I see him being durable, we know to let off and really just use our speed and just pick him apart. I think I'm way more athletic, faster, and and he's gonna find that out. Hey, thank you guys. I love you guys for real. Gang gang.